Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition and a narrative lesson that comes out of the ending of Game of Thrones that all Dungeon Masters need to be careful of. Okay, so Game of Thrones has a notoriously frustrating ending for literally millions of fans who are not happy with the ending. All right, so Game of Thrones in the end of Game of Thrones, Brandon Stark becomes king. Okay. Now, Brandon is the one, he's been telling people that he's not even really human anymore, right? That he's the three-eyed raven, right? That he doesn't want anything. He doesn't really, he sees forward and back, right? His perception has become very alien, right? And so Brandon is made the king, and people were furious. The reason why I think people were furious was, one, we watched Daenerys Targaryen overcome a million different obstacles to becoming the queen of Westeros. She, flies these super dope dragons. She defeats all these tyrants. She frees slaves. She is epic, right? And then she's ended by a duplicitous, deceitful man who doesn't want the throne himself, right? And so what we're getting at is where we end is you have a ruler who wants to rule, two rulers who don't want to rule, and it goes to Brandon Stark, who not only did not want to rule, but has told people he can't even relate to them anymore as human beings, right? So it's a pretty terrible ending, right? Now, why did they get this ending from Benioff and Weiss, right? Well, I think the biggest reason is, I think subconsciously they understood that the biggest issue, modern issue, in today's society is big data. Okay? So what is big data? Well, big data is when you have some person who stays in one position and gathers information through a very arcane method, right? That very few people understand. That's big data, right? It's just one person can gather a ton of data, right, by using an arcane, barely understood method, and staying in one place, and then gathering information from parts unknown, from places they aren't, from times they aren't, getting mining data from the past, and get this, projecting data from the future, right? So the reality is Brandon Stark in Game of Thrones is really a very simple big data wins statement from Benioff and Weiss, right? And I get it, right? Because everybody's like, oh, 1984, Big Brother, blah, 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 right? And I think that was in their head, and that's why they went down that road. They projected a modern problem onto a medieval setting. Don't do this in your Dungeons & Dragons game. Be smarter. Be better, right? Don't take your modern fears and project them into your Dungeons & Dragons game. I don't think your players are going to like it exactly the way Benioff and Weiss's fans didn't like it. That's my opinion. What do you think? I'd love to hear what you think on this topic. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.